A fragile ceasefire is under fresh strain in Lebanon. Israel has issued evacuation orders for 29 villages in the south and launched strikes in Beirut's southern suburbs, in which Lebanon's civil defense says 3 people were killed in those strikes after accusing Hezbollah of firing projectiles into northern Israel. The latest escalation comes at a sensitive moment, with regional powers pushing for a broader diplomatic settlement. Now, Donald Trump has reacted and condemned these attacks. He says, and I quote, "Attack on Beirut should not have happened, particularly on a special day when we are so close to a peace deal with Iran." He also added, "We are very close to a deal that will bring peace to the region, including to Lebanon, and all sides should stand down." However, the Iran Fars news agency had earlier reported that nothing has been finalized yet. No agreement will be signed at the time of Trump's announcement. And for more details of the latest fire trade, here's a report.
The latest flare-up between Israel and Hezbollah began early on Sunday, when Israel said that Hezbollah launched 3 projectiles towards communities in northern Israel. The Israeli military called the attack a blatant violation of the ceasefire agreement and quickly vowed a response. Within hours, the Israel Defense Forces issued evacuation orders for residents in southern Lebanon, warning people in dozens of towns to move north of the Zahrani River immediately. The warnings initially covered 13 villages before expanding to another 16 locations, taking the total number to residents of 29 villages. Most of the towns are located in Lebanon's Nabatea district, with others in the Sidon region. The Israeli military said that it had already hit more than 70 Hezbollah-linked sites over the weekend, including rocket launchers, weapons infrastructure and operational buildings. Lebanese media reported fresh strikes in areas such as Rehan and Sajad, while Lebanon's army said one of its soldiers was seriously wounded in a drone attack earlier near Nabatea. The escalation then reached Beirut. Israel said it carried out precision strikes in Dahiyeh, Hezbollah stronghold in the southern suburbs of the Lebanese capital. Explosions were reported in the Khobeiri neighborhood, with Israeli officials saying the strikes targeted Hezbollah infrastructure. Speaker of Iran's parliament Ghalibaf blasted US, stating that the game of bad cop and good cop is outdated. Hezbollah has now commented directly on the Israeli claims, but said that it launched missiles and drones towards Israeli troops operating in southern Lebanon. The renewed exchange of fire threatens to complicate wider diplomatic efforts aimed at calming tensions across the region. With negotiations involving Iran and the United States still underway, the situation in Lebanon is once again emerging as a critical flashpoint in an already volatile Middle East.
Well, joining us live from Washington, D.C. is Professor Peter Kuznick. He's a professor of history and director of the Nuclear Studies Institute at American University. Professor Kuznick, it's good to see you. Thank you very much for your time and welcome to the broadcast. For a long time, Washington has kept mum on the issue of Lebanon, but now President Trump is speaking out about Lebanon and tells both Israel and Lebanon to put their guns down. Will Israel listen?
No, Israel will not listen. Israel has no intention of letting Trump end this war. Netanyahu understands that with upcoming elections in September, if this war ends without Israel defeating Iran and Hezbollah and possibly the Houthis and more pressure in Gaza, then Netanyahu is likely to be defeated, and which means for him the possibility or the likelihood of going to jail. So Israel does not want this to end, and they have a veto power. At the same time, the Iranians are in no rush to end this either. Iran understands that time is on its side, that the longer this drags on, the worse position Trump is in with the upcoming midterm elections. So the only one who really wants this to end right now is Donald Trump. But he's in a very weak position because he doesn't control his allies and he certainly doesn't control his adversaries. Trump was hoping that today, his 80th birthday, he was going to be able to announce a ceasefire, a memorandum of understanding. But the Iranians are not going to give him even the satisfaction of being able to do that. So very sad.
Professor, how do
Yeah.
you think that will play out? Because the president did expect that during his 80th birthday and at the UFC bout that is about to happen at the White House lawn, that he will sign the deal electronically, by the way. It's not a face-to-face deal. Do you actually think that that will happen? I don't foresee that happening.
No, I agree with you, Eric. Ghalibaf and the other Iranian spokesmen have all said there won't be a deal today. They say there may be a deal in the future. But Iran has made clear that that Israel has to stop its attacks on Hezbollah, that Lebanon has got to be part of this deal. And the Iranians have not wavered on that. And so long as Netanyahu has a veto, then the chances of this actually happening are very, very negligible. Now, Trump can put pressure on Israel. Israel depends on U.S. weapons. Israel depends on U.S. financial aid. So Trump does have some ability to pressure Netanyahu. But Netanyahu also has his own right-wingers and extremists who are pushing him to be more aggressive. And then we heard Trump this week, or just yesterday, say, hopefully this process will all work out quickly, easily, and smoothly. If it doesn't, we have the ultimate alternative, hopefully never to be used again. Trump is making open nuclear threats. And we know Seymour Hersh, the great journalist, reported that in a recent cabinet meeting, Trump said that he's considering using nuclear weapons against Iran. Everybody else was horrified, but I'm sure that the Stephen Millers and the Pete Hegseths and maybe even the Marco Rubios are not horrified, and they probably encourage Trump in that kind of policy. So it's a dangerous situation. We need it to end quickly because the next step could be even more catastrophic.
Okay, Professor, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much for your insights and for talking to us today.
Thank you, Eric.